Hey guys, welcome back to another guide video in Devil May Cry Peak of Combat. Today we're going to be looking at Devilbringer Nero, and we're going to be going over a certain move that you can do with him that's not too many people know about, but it's extremely powerful. It increases his damage output by a lot if you can figure out the timing properly. It's very similar to EJ's judgment cuts if you can figure out the timing. I'm gonna just bring him into training here and kind of just show you what it looks like, and then I'm gonna move over to my editing software so I could kind of slow things down, and I'll just do some commentary because it kind of happens a little bit fast. So I'll bring it over into my video editing software so I can slow things down, so I can show you guys properly the timing, when to hold the button, when to let go, when to hold it down again, things like that. But yeah, basically this is so his style skill when you hold the button down. The tutorial shows you to do this. I think it's useless because you could see after about the first couple hits, the attack gets weaker and weaker, which is just weird to me. So basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna spam the first two hits over and over. So it's gonna look something like this. And you could basically do that infinitely as long as your timing is good and you keep nailing the button pressing. You can refresh your ignite or exceed, whatever they call it. You can activate your devil trigger so you can get your get a lot of power out of it, or Devilbringer, whatever it's called. And yeah, you can see right away that spamming those first two hits is racking up an insane amount of damage. I think on another one of my videos, I can link it in the description, but I did a 30-second video with Devilbringer Nero doing this method, and I think he cleared something like 5 million plus damage in 30 seconds. So it's pretty powerful, and you also have to consider that he doesn't have any brand stacks either. So imagine when he's in a fire team, you build up brand stacks to 50 with someone like Fists of Salvation Dante, and then you bring out Devilbringer Nero, activate his devil trigger, put on exceed or ignite or whatever, and then you go to town spamming this skill. He does an absurd amount of damage. So yeah, I'm going to transition over to my video editing software now, and we're going to break down the footage that I just recorded, and I'll go in slow motion to kind of show you guys what you got to do to pull this off. Alright, so I'm in my video editing software now, and it's probably easiest for me this way because I can actually scrub through the video footage at a slower rate and kind of just talk to you guys in real time on the timing of this and how this kind of works. So if any of you have played with Endless Judgment Virgil before EJ, you know that there's a very specific timing to when you need to hold the button down, let go, and hold the button down again to pull off his judgment cuts. So this works essentially identically. It's something that they don't really explain. I'm not really sure if it's intentional or not, but like I showed you in the video or in the prior footage, it does an insane amount of damage. And if you can master the timing just like you would with EJ, doing this with Devilbringer or DB, Nero is going to net you some crazy damage output. So you want to start with the first hit. See how he brings the sword behind his back? Hits again, and then notice how he restarts. First hit, reaches behind his back. Second hit, restart. First hit, reaches behind his back. Second hit, rinse and repeat. Okay. So now there's also kind of an audio cue that you can follow as well once you get used to it. But just like any guide video, you are going to have to get into training and you're going to have to practice this for sure. Just to figure out the timing yourself, the audio cues behind it if that helps you, and just to get the feel for it. Just like anything with like my last guide video with Devil Crusher, just getting in training, practicing the timing on the button presses. If you have EJ, practicing his judgment cuts and perfect judgment cuts. and the timing behind that, when to hold and release and hold again. Very similar with DB Nero. Same thing here. You're basically just, so you want to start, I'm just going to scroll back here. So you want to start by holding the style skill down to activate it. So you want to have the button held down, keep it held down. I find letting go right here when he has the sword behind his back, you let go of the button and then you quickly hold the button down again, just as if you were to do a judgment cut with EJ. And he'll still do the second attack even though you've re-held the button down, but what it's going to do is cause the style skill to reset, and you're going to go back into your first, it's going to loop back into the first hit. And then once he brings that sword back behind his back, you want to let go of the button again, hold down the style skill button. Boom. And then he's going to re-loop it, let go of the button when the sword's behind his back, re-hold the button down, boom. Still holding the button down, let go of the button here, re-hold the button down, boom. So that's honestly the best way I can explain it. Like I said, get into training, get a feel for it, but essentially you are just doing that, where you're holding the button down to get the thing started. You let the button go right when the sword's behind his back, and then you hold the button down again right afterwards, and then he'll loop that combo. And if you get in that perfect rhythm, you'll be able to just keep looping this 2-hit attack over and over again for some massive damage. So another thing I got recorded here is I just wanted to demonstrate how you can speed up the efficiency of, because you notice how he has his ignite, so you have your devil trigger, which you can pair this with for some absurd damage, but you also have your ignite or exceed, whatever they call it. Essentially, you're only going to have so many hits until it runs out, but if you notice, holding the style skill down the first time, it auto ignites the sword, so it gives you basically 3 charges from the get-go. And of course we're talking about an EX DB Nero here, so I do have him maxed out. I can't remember what earlier ranks of him are like. It's probably not this overpowered, but the version I have, when you hold the style skill down, it auto ignites the sword for you, so you can just keep going until the ignite runs out. Now, when the ignite runs out, there's a really simple way to reignite the sword without wasting too much time, and what I prefer is to dodge out. So once I see that the flames are getting low, I like to dodge out just to stop the animation. And then what you want to do here is just trigger a little bit of a walk, like get him to just like move forward a little bit, because if you do what I just did right here, where you dash out but you hold the style skill down without moving first, you're not going to replenish the exceed or the ignite on the sword. You're just going to go back into the combo and you're going to lose out on damage because your sword's not ignited or exceeded, whatever it's called. But okay, so basically the point I'm getting at, and there's an example here, is you'll do your combo. Once your ignite runs out or your ignition runs out on the sword, you'll dash, you'll take a little bit of a step forward. Notice how after my dash I walk forward like 1 or 2 steps, then you hold the style skill because it's going to cause him to reignite the sword, and then you could go in for a second trip. So the whole point of this is just efficiency, getting the hang of the timing of it. It's honestly, it's actually really cool. When DB Nero first dropped, there was a lot of disappointment behind him, but I think he really grew on a lot of people who know what they were doing in this game, especially after finding out this kind of hidden EJ mechanic that he has, because not only it does a ton of damage, you're essentially doing the same button hold and release that you would do with EJ. And and you can pair it with Devil Trigger, you can pair it with the Sword Ignite, and when your Sword Ignite starts to, because if you have a maxed out DB like me, you're actually regaining a lot of MP as you're hitting your target. So your Devil Trigger lasts a long time, which means you're going to be outputting a shit ton of damage. So your ignite on your sword is actually going to run out a few times before your Devil Trigger does. So doing this method of dodging let me just go back here. Doing this method of dodging out when your ignite's low or ran out, taking a step forward and reigniting it and going back into your infinity loop is the most effective way to use this hidden combo or moveset. And that's essentially it. I hope this guide video showed you guys something new and helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
Slam dunk! I